Welcome to the American Golf Championship Tour here on Sky Sports. It's week 2 of our Grand Finals coverage as the players continue into another amazing season on one of the most diverse golf tours on the planet. We've done just about everything you can do in the sport this year with a focus on just getting people out there and playing golf. The response has been amazing, with over 7,500 players embarking on their own golfing odyssey in our free-to-enter qualifying events, in-store shootouts and golf shows across the UK and Ireland. Over the coming weeks, we'll find out how the 252 qualifiers got on at the Grand Finals in our 17 tournament categories. In last week's Junior Grand Final, we had a brilliant time at Gainsborough Golf Club and crowned our first 5 winners of the season, with future stars Ollie McAvoy and Sam McIntyre joining our junior champions Nathan Newton, Madeline Smith and overall champion Aaron Mahan, collecting their trophies and taking a coveted place on the American Golf Championship Tour Honours Board. Up next on the tour, we've got 2 weeks of explosive Grand Finals long drive action for you, starting this week with the ladies and over 45 men's, and followed next Tuesday by the under 45 men, with our 40 big hitting Grand Finalists here to compete for the next 3 American Golf Tour titles and automatic qualification to the World Long Drive Finals in the USA. And the drama will play out right here at our long drive venue, the majestic Heythrop Park Resort, on their 500-yard grid stretching away into the Oxfordshire countryside. No doubt about it, with World Championship places on the line, the quality's going to be high, the hitting is going to be big, and the competition intense. Coming up on today's show, the over 45 men's event, followed by the ladies' championship, with news from the prelims and quarterfinals, followed by the best of the action from the top 4 shootouts. And I'm delighted to say that distance guru the Governor, Lee Cox, will be joining me in commentary for the finals, and he'll also be on hand with a few long drive coaching tips. That's all coming up on this week's show. We're cleared for takeoff here at Heythrop, ladies and gentlemen, so sit back, relax and enjoy your flight. Before we get the action underway though, time to hear from American Golf's event manager, Matt Bacon, about the rise of the Long Drive Championship.
The Long Drive's hotted up so much this year. We started with thousands of people coming into store to try and qualify for the regional places which we had across the country. Long Drive has come on so much that we had to find a bigger venue. We've had to find a grid that's over 500 yards because the quality this year, we've had people coming from all over Europe flying over for one day just to try and qualify for our finals. I think momentum's built over the last 12 months and more people have joined in for a chance to win a free ticket to the World Finals. It's not just about the elite players. We've actually found some fantastic guys and ladies out there. What I love is the guy next door or your girl next door can just turn up, hit the ball long and could end up being flown out to America and have a chance to compete with the world's best. You're going to see some unbelievable yardage coming out from these guys, you know. I think I hit the ball long and I hit it 240 yards, but we've got ladies that are hitting it over 300 yards and still have more in the locker. We've got guys hitting it over 400 yards. It's just incredible, and it gives you a reality check that, wow, you know, not many people can do this.
One man that certainly was doing it though was Irishman William Hunt Tyrrell in the over 45 men's event, knocking out defending champion Anton Reeder 2-0 for a place in the semis. In quarter-final 2, Charles Siao avenged his 2015 Grand Final defeat, beating Steve Kent in a 3-set thriller, which Charles won with a new PB distance of 409 yards. Gavin Boom Boom Beto in the grey got it done in 2 sets against Ian Davidson, much to his fan club's delight as the family watched Dad take his place in the semi-finals. And completing the top 4 lineup in a brilliant Sean McCormack couldn't quite live with David Wilmore as he powered to a 2-0 victory, posting a 398 PB en route to the semi-finals. 2 mouth-watering encounters then as William Hunt Tyrrell takes on Charles Siao and Boom Boom Beto locks horns with David Wilmore in the over 45 men's semi-finals. Those matches coming up, but first Gemma Kerr is with Joe Folker from event sponsor Cobra.
One of our core beliefs is to encourage participation through game enjoyment. So these long drive championships by American Golf are the perfect opportunity and platform for us to do that.
And how do these events compare to other golfing events that you've attended?
Yeah, I think it's quite a new sort of format. It's come up the last few years. So having been at the Manchester, the Scotland and the London golf shows where they've had the qualifiers for these, carrot at the end to get through to the World Championships is massive for these guys. It's been amazing to see how much excitement and buzz there's been around the qualifying, and then being here today, it's phenomenal.
And here's the format for the top 4 knockout matches. Just one player on the tee for these best of 3 encounters. 2 minutes 45 seconds on the clock, 6 balls each per set. The longest hit wins, so you only need 1 ball to count, and the ball must land on and stay on the grid, which is 50 yards wide. And what a matchup we've got for you in our first semi-final, as the Celtic Tiger William Hunt Tyrrell, the longest hitter so far today, takes on the most consistent hitter, the boss, Charles Siao, fresh off his quarter-final PB at 4:09. William, though, back with a bang after 13 years away from the sport. Can he go all the way? Great return to the big stage for William Hunt Tyrrell. And I'm delighted to say, alongside me in the commentary box, Lee Cox, to cast his eye over this first semi-final in the over 45s category. William then needs a ball on the grid, and this one looks all right, Lee.
Yeah, it looks like it's coming down on a lovely flight. The grid's set up perfect, so this should roll a bit down there. This is going to post a good number.
He needed one. He needed to put some pressure on Charles Siao. And 382, well, it's going to ask a few questions, but Lee, I think William knows he's left the door open here in set 1.
Yeah, Charles needs something special here to get past it, but he's got such good control on the ball, he can make this number.
Charles, though, feeling the nerves up there on stage. No score with 3 balls left and under a minute. And that looks like a slightly better strike than we've seen. And yeah, he's got it out there. Now, how far is it going to roll? Is it good enough to get past the Irishman's ball? And that looks like the first set is going to Charles Siao, confirmed 3-9-3. The celebrations can begin. And Charles Siao takes another step closer to the final. And let's take a look at his setup, Lee.
Launch numbers coming up now. The big ones are the one on the right. Attack angle and launch angle very close together. He's maximised ball speed here.
Tell us about his feet, Lee.
Well, he's played both of them slightly outwards. It's really going to help him to turn his hips both sides. A big plus and worth trying for you people at home.
Yeah, something the over 45s often use to increase that mobility. 3-9-3, not going to be the best of the day, but it's certainly good enough to take a 1-0 lead over the Irishman. It's thumbs up for Charles Siao, and he goes 1-0 as we head into set 2. Now, if you wonder where our pictures come from, they come from that tower 70 metres up in the air. That's Adam up there, and that's his office for the day. Good looking lad. We stick him up there to keep him out of trouble, Lee. Do you fancy that job?
Never. I don't like heights.
Well, that's conclusive. Well done, Adam. Back to work, son. Right then, back down to the tee, and still no score for William. And you can see he's getting more and more tense. He's feeling the pressure now, Lee. He needs a number. I think this one's going to be tight. It's gone long, but it's going close to the edge of this grid. And that's just bounced out. That's not legal.
No, the ball's got to land in and stay in. Although it went back in, it will not count.
Still no score then for William. He's got through it again, but it's the accuracy that he's struggling with. Is this good? It is. It's straight down the middle. And this might be what he was looking for. Waiting for that number. And it's a good one. 3-8-2 then. And let's take a look at William's setup.
We can see here William, he's got the edge on Charles in club head speed, but the attack angle, launch angles aren't as good as Charles, therefore he's down at ball speed to Charles. Interesting thing to see here, we're going to see William's belt buckle lift during the downswing. He's just using the ground, using what they call vertical force. You'll see this with a lot of these power hitters.
Yeah, and a powerful hit, enough to get it out to 3-8-2. He wasn't sure at the time, but certainly put pressure on this man, Charles Siao, and in the end, too much pressure. 3-5-1, the best Charles could manage, and after a very solid start from him, he's now 1-all with the big Irishman. That's it. William Hunt Tyrrell trying to punch his way out of trouble as we head into the tiebreaker. Same rules, 2 minutes 45, 6 balls, but the same problem for William. He still can't get them on the grid, and no score, and under a minute left. And Lee, he's in trouble.
Sure, the clubs and their swings aren't always built for accuracy, but he's got to put a number in here, otherwise he's got to make Charles work.
Sneaks off the grid again, out of bounds. And that's the best he was able to manage. William Hunt Tyrrell, no score in the tiebreaker. Cardinal sin.
Big one, he just needs to make Charles put a number down. Now, it's not that easy for Charles to do it. He's just got to try and get a shot down there now.
Well, let's hope the obeitis isn't catching. And William Hunt Tyrrell starting to wonder. 2 balls left, just over a minute for Charles Sayre, and still no score. Normally so accurate. You can normally guarantee a ball in the grid, and this looks like it might just hang on, Lee.
It looks enough. I think it's going to hold on down the side there. He's got a lovely little kick. He's done enough.
Whoa, flirted with the sidelines, but 3-4-3. Nothing to write home about, but it's good enough for Charles Sayre. And that's it. He's done it. That's a massive scalp for him as he takes down William Hunt Tyrrell 2-1. And Charles Sayre is through to the final. Time for our first long drive coaching tip now. One for us senior players, I feel. Here's the governor, Lee Cox.
People are obsessed with this lovely look of this straight left arm at the top of the swing. But for some people, actually including myself, it doesn't help me. I don't have the flexibility to do this anymore. And if you look at golf, which is what they call a 2-lever system, 1 and then 2 with the shaft, another lever here into a 3-lever system can definitely add speed. It also increases the range of motion of the club. It's a power source I've tapped into, and if your body isn't as flexible as it used to be, and you cannot get the club where it was, don't get too tied up on this straight arm, let it soften. It's going to really help you, and it will take a lot of pressure off your arm as well.
That's it for part 1, but join us after the break for semi-final 2 in the over 45 men's event to find out who Charles Sayre will be playing in the final when David Wilmore takes on Gavin Beddoe and Gavin's entire family right here on Sky Sports. Welcome back to Heythrop Park Resort and the American Golf Long Drive Championship. Charles Sayre is through to the over 45 men's grand final, and it's time to find out who his opponent will be from our next 2 contenders. Gavin Boom Boom Beddoe has exceeded expectations in his first ever long drive event after qualifying in Store, and the 45-year-old finds himself in a semi-final against the man who just missed out last year. Nicknamed the Chimp, David Wilmore is looking to go one better. Set 1, David Wilmore's wife, Lolly, watching on. Sat next to Gavin Beddoe's wife, Victoria, and the Beddoe family. And Lolly looking nervous because there's no score for David yet. Oh, he likes that. He likes that, and at last, it looks like he's got one on the grid for a score here. Oh, just checked up on him though, Lee.
Well, land angle's so important in this game. Looks like it came in a bit high, and he just doesn't maximise the roll when it's on the floor.
360 is the number, and he'll be glad that he's at least posted something. Next up on the tee then, Gavin Beddoe, and he's here at Heythrop with the family.
So we have a very dedicated fan club here. Who are you supporting?
We're supporting my husband, Gavin Beddoe.
How exciting! And who else do we have here?
We have Team Beddoe, so we have William Beddoe on the end, he's the eldest, then Max, and then we've got twins, Louis and Darcy.
Oh, now, do you guys have anything you want to say to your dad?
Win.
I think we need to get you all saying good luck, Daddy, on the count of 3. What do you think? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, Daddy needs that luck right now. Just over 1 minute 20, 3 balls left, and no score at the moment for Gavin Beddoe, but he's got after that one. And the fan club are happy. But has he got the distance? 360 to beat. I think it's going to run out of legs, Lee.
Well, he shouted at it like he loved it, but it's going to come up just short.
360, plays 3-5-1, and it's 1-0 to David Wilmore. Now, Lee, I like this tee setup.
Yeah, I haven't seen it before. Teeing it up and getting your timings is so important in the allotted time. I like this. I don't think this tee's even going to fly out. Makes it much easier.
No chasing the tee around. but he'll be happy to chase a few balls down on this grid, and that looks okay.
Looks perfect coming in here. Good kick. This is going to do a good distance. Lovely second kick there.
Gavin Beddoe is going to be under pressure, and right off the bat, David Wilmore has found himself a distance, and it is good. 3.88 then for David Wilmore.
We can see David here aiming off to the right. Looks like he's going to hit a big draw, but because of the angle of attacks, it just neutralises it. Tiny, tiny turn left. Lovely ball flight.
Great work from Wilmore then. Now we're going to see a lot going on here.
Yeah, you can see this unrestricted pelvic movement, left heel lifting, left knee kicking behind, just getting the most out of his lower body.
Well, he made the final last year, David Wilmore. He didn't hit the grid, so he's going to be very, very happy that he's getting some decent numbers up in this semi-final. He is rocking, and so's Brad Pearmain. He's always been a bit of a headbanger, Brad. Now then, can Gavin Beddoe find the answers? The family certainly hope so. Ball 6 for Gavin Lee.
Yeah, let's see if he can last ball him. This will matter, this one. Let's see what he can do.
3.72 on the board, but he's got to go further than that. Oh, they're waiting to see if it's good enough.
This has got a chance.
And I think Boom Boom Beddoe has just run out of luck in this second semi-final. It's a great effort. 3.78 is confirmed. A 2-0 victory then for David Wilmore as he makes his second consecutive grand final in the over 45s division. Seau versus Wilmore then coming up, but first, here's Lee again.
What can we get from the hips? They're a great power supply. In the backswing, you'll see the long drivers use slightly different hip movements than maybe the tour guys or the person you're playing with at the weekend. They tend to use unrestricted hip movements. They allow it to turn fully. Left knee kicks in behind the ball, left heel lifts up. It's worth trying this even if you are fit, but if you're losing flexibility, unrestricted hip turn, left heel lift in, there's a power source. It's got to be worth trying.
It's time for the over 45 men's final with plenty riding on this one. David Wilmore went close last year but didn't get a single ball on the grid in his loss to Anton Reeder. This is his chance to make amends. For Charles Seau, a dream of a place at the World Championship finals in the USA is still alive after he missed out in the 2015 American Golf UK final. Let's hear from the boys.
This is my third attempt to this long drive contest. But I don't know, I just...
You feel ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to beat.
Do you feel different? Do you feel like you can pull something extra out the bag?
Just get one in the grid would be nice this year, I think, rather than last year like I didn't, so we'll see how it goes.
And thoughts ahead of the final, facing Charles?
Absolutely no thoughts. Clear mind, just go and hit it. That's all there is to it.
Nothing to it then. The final of the over 45 men's, the toss won by Charles Seau, and decided to put David Wilmore into bat. So 2 minutes 45 on the clock, 6 balls to go, and he wants to try and avoid what he did last year in the final, namely not hitting the grid.
Yeah, a lot of long drivers like to come out second and see what they've got to beat. You'll see that with a lot of these guys, they'll choose to go second.
Well, big cheer from the fan club, but in all honesty, Lee, that's not a great shot from David, but it's on.
It's in the grid. There's a number down. It's not great. David will be a little bit disappointed there. He's much better than that. These numbers should produce, but there is a score. There is a number there to beat.
It should be relatively straightforward for a man that has filled the grid up as much as Charles Seau today. Out of bounds on the first ball. His son on video analysis duties today, ever present at the tournaments that his dad plays in. But he wants to film him getting a ball on the grid. Plenty left though, Lee.
Plenty left. It'll be interesting to see. He's been swinging at over 120 miles an hour today. I'm probably going to grade down a little bit. He doesn't need the full shot. He needs to stay with his rhythm and just put one in the grid.
Another one off into the trees. So still no score for Charles. Vincent Palm and Timo Petrash, we'll see them in action in the under 45s competition on Sky Sports next week, but enjoying the atmosphere at the over 45 final. Still plenty of time and plenty of balls though for Charles Seau. Yeah, another smooth swing, Lee.
Yeah, he's keeping his rhythm nicely here. It's really difficult to do in the time and under the pressure, but that's a nice golf swing.
And that's going to be good enough to settle the nerves for Charles Seau and take the first set. Now let's look at his numbers.
suspect he's dropped his speed down a little bit here just to get the ball in play. A little bit more like a playing swing. Yeah, 117 club head speed. He's just done the job here. He's done what he needed to do.
As Bing Crosby used to say, straight down the middle. Good enough for Charles Siao at 3:51 to take a 1-0 lead over David Wilmore. And David Wilmore just trying to get rid of the nightmare of last year's final when he didn't get a ball on the grid, but unfortunately for him, tightening up in this second set lead and just can't seem to find a number.
Sure, sometimes that adrenaline, that little bit of pressure on you changes the rhythm. You know, they're on the edge here. It's not always easy to find the middle of the club, and you can see, which is quite common in a long drive, just get the nerves, even just trying to get the ball on the tee. Difficult to relax at this moment. Let's see if we can do it.
There's Lolly and David Wilmore's fan club looking nervous as well. This is a tough moment for him. No score yet. Oh, and that one's gone as well. It's not happening, I'm afraid, for David Wilmore. And just like last year, he couldn't find the grid, he couldn't find a score, and there's no pressure on Charles Siao. Charles then got the full complement of balls, got the time. Has he got the accuracy? I suspect he has. No, he was trying to do that on the B of the bang there, Lee.
Yeah, he's been the most consistent man in this tournament so far, so I think he's just got to keep doing what he's doing. He's been hitting the grid more than the others. I think he's going to close this out.
Doesn't need a big number, just needs it on the grid. But sometimes easier said than done. And David Wilmore, what must he be thinking? He's got so close again, a second year in the final, but this, I think, is going to be good enough.
That could be the ball. This looks like it's in, middle of the grid. It's all over, off to the Worlds.
Congratulations to Charles. Third time lucky is the cliche, but let's be honest, there was no luck about it. Precision power hitting all day from a player who has dedicated himself to becoming the best long driver he can be. Commiserations to David Wilmore, 2 finals in a row, but still no ticket to the Worlds. Something tells me he'll get there one day though. He's too good not to. Right then, let's hear from the champion.
You've been trying for so long to get this title and you've finally done it.
Yes, actually, last 3 years, every year I tried, and finally I got the win. This is my dream come true. At the moment, I'm waiting for open new restaurant in Soho in Chinatown. So I'm so busy, but this is my dream. That's why I couldn't miss it. So every year getting better.
Charles Siao then, the over 45 men's champion for 2017, receiving his trophy from Joe Falker of Cobra Golf. Fantastic, he's finally done it. Good luck at the Worlds, Charles. Coming up, the ladies go into battle, and American Golf have uncovered some really talented new players to challenge the reigning UK champion and world bronze medalist Rebecca McGinley. Action from the semi-finals coming up after the break, right here on Sky Sports. Welcome back to the American Golf Long Drive Championship. Before the break, we crowned over 45 men's champion Charles Siao as he claimed the title, his ticket to the Worlds, and his place on this season's honours board at the end of the show. One more trophy still up for grabs on the programme today as the ladies go into battle, and a grand final draw that promised to deliver so much did exactly that when Rebecca O'Grady produced the upset of the tournament in the quarterfinals, beating the reigning champion and 2-time world bronze medalist Rebecca McGinley by 2-1. O'Grady through to the semis and the defending champion McGinley out, meaning there will be a new name on the trophy this year with plenty of possible winners to choose from going into the semis. 15-year-old Abby Rowlands was a little unlucky to meet long drive newbie Ilona Stubley in quarter-final 1. Ilona had been knocking the lights out all day and came through a thriller against Abby by 2-1. Vicky Johnson, another complete long drive novice discovered by American Golf in this year's qualifiers, knocked out the last of the overseas players, Sani Kamarainen, 2-0. And Becky O'Grady's career best win means she'll meet the youngest player at this year's grand finals, 14-year-old Elle Gibson, who took down Welsh star Bronwyn Davies. Let's get straight to the semi-final action then with a fascinating opening match. Both players watched last year's long drive coverage on Sky Sports and decided to show up to the qualifiers and give it a go this year. But no doubt about it, both Vicky Johnson and Ilona Stubley have real potential in the sport. This should be a cracker. Away we go then with the First Ladies semi-final. No score yet for Vicky Johnson. And we're watching, Lee, two relative novices who swing the golf club very nicely indeed.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the hot favourite, Rebecca McGinley's gone. She's out. So we're seeing some new faces here. Maybe not long drive swings, but really, really good swings.
Decent ball from Johnson at 285. Let's take a look at her numbers.
You can see the club head speed's 100. To give you some idea, the average man in the world swinging it 93 miles an hour. So she'll be knocking it past you. And your Saturday, Sunday, stable for medal at your golf club.
Yeah, Vicky Johnson then seems to have taken to long drive very nicely indeed. Thought she'd give it a try this year. This is her first event and she's in the semi-final, still with a shot at going to the Worlds over in the USA. 285 is the number to beat then, but Ilona Stubley couldn't find it. Very frustrating opening 6 balls for Stubley. And a best ball that just couldn't compete with Vicky Johnson's 285. So smiles for Vicky. She goes 1-0 up. Second set then. Get the feeling that if she really does relax into this, she can find some great numbers.
If you look how far this ball's carrying, it's really impressive. Somewhere here between sort of 270 mark and rolling up to 300. Now 300 is a really, really good number.
296 it is. The pressure is on Ilona Stubley. Vicky Johnson would have liked to have found the grid a couple more times, but you only need to find it once with a decent shot and you're in business. And for Ilona Stubley, well, the pressure was really on. A couple more out of bounds and you could just see her getting tighter and tighter. Running out of time and running out of options here. Good strike though. She might have found one here to keep herself alive in this tournament.
She's been filling the grid up all day, so you got to believe at some point she's going to get a good one down there.
And it is just rolling past Johnson's effort. It's over the 300 line. And what a time for Ilona Stubley to find her form.
Ilona here at the top of her backswing's really loaded at power sources. Lovely full hip turn, left heel up, full backswing. Looks terrific.
Looks like an absolute natural. Ilona Stubley 301. That is impressive. A good set from her. And it means she goes 1-1 with Vicky Johnson. And you know what that means. Tiebreaker coming up. 2:45 back on the clock. 6 balls. And Vicky Johnson getting a number out there at 271. So that means she can really try and go after these last few hits. And that sounded good.
It's terrific in the air. Let's see what it does on the floor.
It's going to roll out to another 290 plus. And this is good consistency. 297 then. Vicky Johnson is flying. And she's got 1 foot on that plane to the Worlds in the USA. But Lee, from what we've seen from Ilona Stubley today, she's certainly got it in the kit bag. But she's going to need something special here to win this.
Well, she's probably been the most consistent today, and she's got that edge on speed. She's got 2-3 miles an hour extra club head speed, and she's been hitting the grid a lot. I think she can do this.
Decent opener. And this looks good. And Ilona Stubley putting pressure on that 297 from Johnson. Is it going to make it?
Oh, it's close.
Oh my goodness, just coming up short by a yard. And that's when the pressure really came to bear, and Ilona Stubley couldn't find the grid again after that.
Well, that'll test your mettle there. You're suddenly worried that maybe you haven't got enough, and now we're down to the last ball and the clock is ticking.
30 seconds left, 1 ball to go. She loves to go to the back of the tee and just have a good look down the grid, and the ball's off the peg. And those are valuable seconds ticking away, and she's in trouble here, Lee.
Oh, this is either going to put her off or it will clear her brain. Either way, here we go.
At the moment, Stubley is out of this tournament. Last ball. Oh, it's a cracker.
Oh, she likes that.
She's absolutely roasted this down the grid. And that is a beautiful shot to finish. And you're absolutely right, Lee. She just seemed to clear her mind of everything and went after that ball. And that's the winner.
Well, that ball falling off the tee, that can either throw you or it clears everything out. And for her, obviously, it cleared it out. What a way to answer. 316. That is a massive number.
Brilliant performance from Ilona Stubley, but my goodness me, she left it until the very last second, quite literally. She's through to the final. More semi-final action coming up, but first, here's the governor again with another long drive coaching nugget.
Ladies, think outside the box. How could you get more distance? How could you get more swing speed? Very often ladies have much more flexibility than men. So don't judge your swing on a man's length swing. Feel free to let it get a bit longer. Use the flexibility across your shoulders and your rib cage and your shoulder joints. If you haven't got the horsepower to drive the club faster, why don't you let range of motion, a length of swing here, accrue more clubhead speed on the way down.
Ilona Stubley is already through to the final. Time to find out who's going to join her. Becky O'Grady has had a day she will never forget with that quarter-final win over reigning champion Rebecca McGinley. But it's not been too bad for 14-year-old aspiring pro golfer Elle Gibson either. We've got all the ingredients for a smash-and-grab contest here. First set in an intriguing matchup. But unfortunately for Becky O'Grady, the nerves may be getting the better of her. Couldn't find the grid, couldn't register a score, and knew she was in trouble already in this second semi-final. So, no score for O'Grady, out of bounds all the way. Elle Gibson then with the door open. But, as they always say, it's a lot easier said than done, Lee.
Sure, when you stand at the back there with that club in your hand, that grid looks pretty wide, but stand on that platform, suddenly it's shrinking, especially if it matters.
Oh, and this matters. Under 15 seconds left, and Elle running out of time here, and she's caught that one nicely. Low ball flight, but this is going to skip on. And that's a super effort from Elle Gibson. And she's not just won this first set, but she's won it in style. 2-9-3.
We've got to remember this girl's 14 years old and she's swinging at 98. Just imagine another 3-4 years' time. And if ever there's a lesson today, she has been crunching in the middle of that club face. She's getting everything out of that ball. There's a bit of youth for you. Massive spine turn against maybe not as much hip turn. I dream of those days now, long gone, but just a lovely golf swing.
And that ball was long gone as well. 293. Good enough for Elle Gibson to take that first set out, but Becky O'Grady struggling to get on the grid. A frustrating time for her. And that continued into set two. Becky still unable to find the grid, another out of bounds. And Elle Gibson, probably for the first time today, starting to think about the USA. From O'Grady's fan club's point of view, they want a ball on the grid. They want a number on the scoreboard. Can she find it? Good strike. That's better. That's better.
Becca certainly got the speed to be competitive, and sometimes the grid can help you, and this looks like a terrific bounce down the left side. She's got the fast lane here. Oh. Well, it's past the 300.
That is sweet. 300 then it is, and that's her best strike of the day.
You know, grids are never exactly level, and sometimes they can help you a little bit against you, but that was a terrific side, and the grid just gave that extra lovely little kick. Swing here. She doesn't use her feet much, her left foot stays on the floor, but lovely high hands and very, very strong across this left shoulder coming through the ball. Generates an awful lot of speed there.
One score recorded, but it's a good score. And that means Elle Gibson, thoughts of a trip to the USA, thoughts of a trip to the final, not just going to the back of her mind, because she too couldn't find the grid in this second set, and maybe there was a chance for Becky O'Grady here to hang on. Seconds ticking down. Last chance saloon then in set two for Elle Gibson, and she's done it again. Every time she's been under pressure today, Lee, she's found a shot. Is it long enough?
Well, she's been nerveless today. She looks very comfortable up there, and there's your answer.
No. Oh my goodness, just a yard in it. 299. And a raise of the eyebrow from Rebecca O'Grady, because she is still in this. It's thumbs up from Becky. It's 1-1 as we head into the tiebreak. 267 then on the scoreboard for O'Grady. Now, does that mean it's just going to free the shoulders up a little bit? This is a decent shot from her. It's certainly going to go past 267, but it really hasn't rolled far enough. 270 then, and Elle Gibson, I know exactly what she's thinking. She's thinking, I can beat that.
I love that from Becky, though. It might not be her best, but she's put numbers in. It's a nice set. She's given something that Elle's got to try and beat.
Well, from Elle's point of view, getting it on the grid, getting it far enough, always going to be the demand under pressure, and Mum Lynn can't watch. Oh, it's a great shot, and they're happy. I'm sure Elle's going to be happy, and I think she's got enough on this one, Lee.
Well, Mum likes it. Let's see if Elle likes it.
120 to go. 120
Yeah,
to go.
comfortably on the grid, comfortably past 270. And that's the win for Elle Gibson, and this is just going to be a victory parade now. How far can she get this ball? Another raking drive.
Very, very close indeed.
Good carry, good bounce, and this is going all the way to the 300 line, and Elle Gibson has won this one in style. A touch of anything you can do, I can do just as well.
Oh, it's just a terrific performance from Elle. It's interesting, I know she's concentrating on playing, but she stepped up to long drive like she's been doing it for a long time. Just imagine another 2-3 years playing and long drive. What a prospect.
So Becky O'Grady's fantastic day at Heythrop comes to an abrupt end at the hands of talented English teenager Elle Gibson, who now marches straight into a head-on clash with Scotland's Ilona Stubley. The final of the American Golf Ladies Long Drive Championship coming up after the break, right here on Sky Sports. Welcome back to the spectacular Heythrop Park Resort in Oxfordshire, where the scene is set for the American Golf Ladies Long Drive Championship final. The title and a place at this year's World Championships in the USA all on the line. There's plenty between them in terms of years, but not much when it comes to yards. Ilona Stubley comes into this one as marginal favourite over 14-year-old Elle Gibson, but the reality is both players are in their first ever long drive tournament and find themselves just 2 hits away from a place at the World Championships.
I bet it all feels a little bit like a dream, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really expect to even get through the first 8, but it's just been a really good day and just been a bit lucky.
Now, looking ahead, what are your thoughts about the finals?
Just hit it as hard as I can, to be honest.
All right, through to the finals. Does that sound bizarre?
It sounds good.
And what would it mean if you won here today?
It'd be awesome. I've worked hard for coming here, and obviously going to the Worlds would be amazing. So yeah, be good.
Watch this space. Let's see. Best of luck.
Thank you.
It's a cracking match-up for the final. The referee, Phil Davies, with the coin toss. He signed that coin, you know. And it's won by Elle, and Elle has decided to put Ilona in first. And I can tell you, Lee, Ilona absolutely hates going first. And 282 on the board, time running out, and she's in a bit of trouble here.
These have been the 2 most consistent performers of the day. I think it's the right match-up in the final, and the way they've been both going, they're both going to hit the grid. There's going to be some great numbers in this final.
282 on the board, but that's another great shot from Ilona Stubley, and she's managed to squeeze a few more yards out for 289. So in the end, turned it into a pretty positive visit to the tee, but you could see she wasn't comfortable, but despite that, she's got some numbers up there. And Elle Gibson's mum, Lynn, wondering whether there's anything left for Elle. Dean, her dad, up in the crowd, watching on. And whatever happens from here, Lee, she's had a fabulous day. She's done brilliantly.
Oh, she probably came in not even thinking she'd qualify, so to get to the final, just what a day, what an introduction to long drive.
289 to beat, no score on the board at the moment. Great crowd here for this ladies' final. Just short of the path, reasonable bounce over. And that might just settle a few nerves. 280's not enough, as Dad Dean well knows, but might just help Elle focus a little bit for these last couple of hits.
Another good shot. She's been filling the grid up all day. Let's see what happens when it lands.
Solid, Good roll as well, and that might be good enough, you know. That's a fantastic effort, 2.96. And Elle Gibson has pulled it out once again when it mattered.
I think this is living up to the final we hoped for as well. What a great number.
Good start from Ilona Stubley, but the youngster, Elle Gibson, just 14 years of age, has gone past her with this fabulous technique of hers, and it's only going to get better.
Oh, those high hands at the top, that massive spinal flexibility. Wow.
That's about all you can say, literally, wow. Good start then. Have we got a massive story on our hands potentially here at Heythrop Park? 2.96 for Elle Gibson. She takes out the first set against Ilona Stubley, and the teenager might be on her way to Oklahoma.
Well, it'll be a fascinating finish here. She's got to come from two back. She's got the edge on speed, but can she actually make it count?
Ilona Stubley's been brilliant all day. Very impressive, as Lee said, with that club head speed, and this looks good. Again, excellent flight. They've been peppering that 300-yard line all day, and that's another one going the distance. And Stubley asking a few questions here, and the crowd loving this. 2.99 then. These are good numbers, and this is impressive from Stubley.
Yeah, 100 miles an hour swing, peppering down the middle of the fairway again. So impressive how they've filled the grid up. And the swing, that hip turn, fantastic, great leg action again. Knees slightly flexed, she can just unload from there.
That's where all the power comes from, and enough power to send it out to 299 yards. Well, she said earlier in the day she hates going first, but she's given a good account of herself so far. But Elle Gibson is one hit away from superstardom in long driving, and she's caught that beautifully. Running out of balls and time here in the second set, and that's hit the path, I think. Yes, it has. That's hit the path and bounced on, Lee, so we got a reload.
Oh, it's a shame that looked really good. You know, obviously there's a road sitting there. It's added more than it should, though, so here we go again.
Second bite at the cherry. Second go at the last chance saloon. This would be cruel for Stubley. It's another good shot. She sent it way out there down the grid. No, just checked up.
Oh, it's dug in. It's dug in.
And this is not going to run out. And Ilona Stubley is going to take this second set. 2.95 for Gibson, 2.99 for Stubley. And Stubley is still alive in this tournament. And a place at the World Long Drive Championships is still on for the Scotswoman. Into the tiebreaker then. And this is real pressure.
Ilona's won the toss. She's put Elle in. This is how you want it. The two stellar performers of today, head-to-head, last set, to go to the Worlds. It doesn't get any better.
Oh, it's a fantastic shot from Elle Gibson. What a time to find it. And again, nudging the 300-yard line, 2.99. And Elle Gibson says to her opponent, go on then, beat that.
4 balls in the grid in the final set. That's putting a number. That's putting something down there. Love it.
That is a spectacular picture, isn't it? Looking back up towards the house.
Well, I've rarely been to many places that have better setups and better grids. Nothing can be faulted. It's terrific.
The clock is started. Ilona Stubley would like to get this job done sooner rather than later. It's a decent swing, you know. It's a decent swing. It's gone all the way, and that's it. Ilona Stubley with 3.07 takes this final at the first time of asking, and she has had a quite brilliant day.
What a final shot. It looked like carried 280. I haven't seen anyone else carry it out that far. What a way to tie it up.
Time to hear from the champion then. She's with Gemma Kerr.
Congratulations, you must be absolutely thrilled.
Yeah, I was just saying, I don't think it's sunk in yet, but yeah, absolutely buzzing. I didn't like going first. I prefer sort of to see what the numbers that are posted are and go after that. So I was quite glad I won the coin toss on the last one.
It was a nail-biting finish though. How do you keep your cool?
I don't know. I just knew I had to hit it, so I think that was the thing in the third set. You just may as well go for it because there's nothing to lose there.
American Golf Long Drive Ladies Champion with her first shot at the title is very special indeed. Congratulations Ilona Stubley receiving the trophy from Joe Falker of Cobra, and well done to both our winners this week. Welcome additions to the American Golf Championship Tour leaderboard. Over 45 winner Charles Seau and ladies champion Ilona Stubley off to the States in search of World Championship glory. And we stay at Heythrop Park next week on Sky Sports with just one more long drive title up for grabs on Tuesday evening in the men's under 45 division. Join us to watch the big guns fire it up in so many ways. We'll see you next week.